Imagine being Africa's wealthiest man and the richest black person in the world with a staggering net worth of $13.5 billion, and yet still needing 35 visas to travel across your own continent to conduct business. This is the sad reality faced by Nigerian industrialist Aliko Dangote, who shared his frustrations with Africa's visa system at the just-ended Africa CEO Forum annual summit in Kigali, Rwanda. At the conference, Africa's richest man lashed out at the bureaucratic nightmare he endures to move across Africa, revealing the absurdity and inequity of the visa requirements that hobble African business leaders, contrasting it sharply with the privileged mobility enjoyed by Europeans. Before we dive into our topic today, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channels and ringing the bell to be notified about all our exciting future videos. Dangote, visibly frustrated, recounted his recent grievance to President Paul Kagame of Rwanda, who was in attendance at the CEO summit. "I still complain to President Kagame. I told him that as an investor, I have to now apply for 35 different visas on my passport," he lamented. "I told Mr. President, I really don't have the time to go and be dropping my passports in embassies to get a visa," he said. Dangote's criticism didn't stop at the mere inconvenience of having to drop his passports at various embassies across the continent for visa approvals. He also pointed to the blatant favouritism shown towards foreign investors in the visa application process. "But you see, the most annoying thing is that yes, if you are treating everybody the same, then I can understand," he added. Using the French passport as an example, Dangote highlighted the fact that Mr. Patrick Pouyanne, chairman of Total Energies, does not need 35 visas on his French passport to gain access to African countries. "You don't need 35 visas on your French passport. This means you have a freer movement than myself in Africa," he said. The irony is as bitter as it is blatant. The richest man in Africa, a symbol of the continent's entrepreneurial spirit, is hamstrung by the very borders that should be enabling his progress. And yet foreign nationals have an easier time accessing visas, an irony that seems lost on African policymakers. Dangote's scathing indictment of Africa's travel restrictions calls out the stark contradiction in the vision of a unified Africa because supposed solidarity and economic cooperation are being thwarted by bureaucratic red tape and outdated policies. This revelation has also sent shockwaves through the corridors of power, calling into question the commitment of African leaders to the ideals of the African Continental Free Trade Area. The African Continental Free Trade Area, touted as a beacon of hope for a seamless, integrated continental market, seems nothing more than a distant dream for African entrepreneurs at this point. Because let's face facts, if the continent's most influential businessman faces such barriers, what hope is there for smaller investors and entrepreneurs? And with such a rigid visa system, can Africa ever hope to catch up with and even surpass the free movement of goods and people that Europe enjoys? Indeed, the European Union's free trade zone and visa-free travel area, known as the Schengen area, has significantly bolstered the continent's economic strength. The Schengen area consists of 29 countries and covers nearly all of mainland Europe. And with just one Schengen visa, you can travel within this area without any formalities. By eliminating tariffs and border checks between member states, the European Union has fostered a seamless flow of goods, services, and people. This has spurred cross-border investment, boosted tourism, and enabled a more competitive internal market, leading to increased productivity and job creation. The free movement of labor also allows companies to access a wider talent pool and individuals to find work opportunities across Europe, further strengthening the overall economic dynamism of the region. If Africa wants to catch up with and potentially outdo Europe, experts believe it is crucial to have such a liberal visa system, and Dangote rightly pointed this out. At the CEO summit, he said, "Our main job is to make sure the regional markets all work. Once they work, then we can now go to the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. But then, for the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement also, we need to make sure that it works. We cannot have a very promising continent and our intra-trade rate is less than 16%. Okay, so we Africans will have to do it. If we are waiting for foreigners to come and do it, the development of Africa is not going to happen, he added. So it can only happen to us Africans. We must risk our sources and make sure that we lead. Then we will have people who actually trust and believe in Africa to come and help us to push to the next level, he concluded. As Dangote's fiery speech continues to reverberate across the continent, it ignites a broader debate about the true state of African unity and progress. The demand for an overhaul of the visa policies is more than just a call for convenience. It's a rallying cry for dignity, fairness, and genuine commitment to the principles that African leaders espouse on grand stages. If Africa is to rise as a unified economic powerhouse, it must first dismantle the barriers that stifle its own champions. Until then, Dangote's words will serve as a stark reminder of the continent's unfulfilled promises and the urgent need for change. Your perspective matters. Do you agree that Africa should adopt a Schengen visa-style travel regime to facilitate intra-African trade? Share your thoughts and insights in the comments section below. For continued updates on global affairs and diplomatic developments, be sure to subscribe to the New Africa channel. Stay informed, stay engaged. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to bringing you more insightful content in the future.